very excited to prepare for University of Washington. They're an excellent program. We're getting ready to. Our young men are going to experience one of the greatest places in all of college football to play a game on Saturday. They will have a great crowd. It'll be loud. It's a beautiful, beautiful environment, and it'll be a wonderful experience for them. And it'll be the last time we go to the University of Washington. So I'm excited for them, and looking forward to getting on the field and playing against the Huskies on Saturday.
It's just me. Can you talk about how the continuity on the offensive line is helping the offense this year after y'all started, I think it was 10 combinations in 12 games last year?
Well, I mean, that's the one position on the team that has to be together all the time. And when you can keep them together, you know, they're starting to understand each other's calls and steps and who needs help with what, and you just got to always, you know, keep them together. And the O-line's always a funny group because that's the one group that usually always sits together at the movie or sits together at dinner or hangs out with each other at the apartment. And that's so any successful offensive line I've ever been around, that's the way it is. And it's just they've got to work. It's 5 guys that have to always work together. You know, all of them sliding one way or sliding the other, and working in conjunction with each other. And so the more the more continuity you have, the better it is.
Coach, communication is always important, but on a road game, your first road game this season in front of a big crowd, what are the things that are important for your offense to function smoothly?
Well, we'll have to, you know, watch the ball. We'll have to go on a silent count. We won't be able to rely upon hearing the cadence. We really have to watch our signals on the side and communicate the protection calls up front and any checks that we have. I mean, it's very vital that, you know, everybody is focused in on the quarterback and focused in on watching the ball being snapped.
Do you have you decided yet on the I know it can be done retroactively, but the redshirt status of some of the freshmen that haven't played in the first 3 games so far?
No, we get it the first quarter of the season, and then after that, if they've played, they have to have an injury to count as a redshirt year. So, you know, we're still in a process, and we're still building a program. So there are certain people, certain numbers that we have to redshirt to build our classes as we go, so we don't ever fall into the 26 seniors or 27 seniors like they've had the last 2 years. You know, we don't ever want to get into that because then you're devastated. You know, in one class you lose a whole deal and you can't replace them all. So, you know, we're 2 years away from actually continuing to build it to be numbers-wise across the board, you know, freshmen, redshirt freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors, balanced, and getting that number up to 85. I mean, we're in the low 70s right now. We'll get closer next year, but you still always have attrition, and so it's going to be a couple years. We're still building. I think we're way ahead of schedule. I mean, we're building. We can't fill all the holes we have at once. And we knew that. We said that last year in recruiting that, you know, we have so many holes to fill. You can't fill them all in one recruiting class. So, you know, it's going to take a couple years of recruiting and balancing classes to be able to fill all the holes we got.
Going into the 4th game, though, if some of the true freshmen who haven't played, would it be reasonable to think they might play this week?
No, I'm not going to play them just to play them because, again, to redshirt them, once you play a freshman, to be able to redshirt, you have to have a documented injury, season-ending injury. Like Bill Technip is a great example. He played the first 3 games last year and had a torn ACL and was able to get a medical redshirt. You can't just play him and then after the 4th game say we're not going to play him anymore. They have to have a season-ending injury. So we're real careful with that because I'm not going to waste a young man's year, nor am I going to put our program behind because we're not balancing everything and doing it that way. There's a plan.
What can y'all do schematically to try to improve the play of the defense, if anything?
we've got to have some patience. That's what I'm going to preach to everybody is patience. Nobody has patience anymore. Everybody's expecting this and that. We've got a complete new secondary, and none of them, maybe Bruce Dukes might have played at Central Florida, but none of them had ever played an FBS football game, and we're playing some true freshmen. So it's just going to take time for them to get better. I mean, they're working at it. They're working hard. We can simplify things, but then again, you try to protect the secondary and you rush 3 and drop 8 and they run the ball down your throat. So, you've got to just continue to tailor your schemes to fit their talents, and you have to be patient because they're going to get better as they go. And it's not what anybody wants to hear, but that's the truth. We can't go pick anybody up off the waiver wire or sign a free agent.
Well,
so
yesterday you were talking about some of the young guys that just they got to get better.
They've got to get
They
better.
got to do what
We've
we're
got to
asking them
coach
do.
better, and they've got to get better, and that's just the way it is. I mean, we take it, as coaches. I mean, if you're a professor and your students aren't passing, then you should look in the mirror and say, what am I doing not getting them to understand the material? And you can do that over and over, and eventually they'll get better, and if they can't, then you've got to go with somebody else.
In that vein, then, what are y'all doing? What have you tried to change as coaches, maybe
We try
from
to
the season
simplify
opener
things.
until now?
We're trying to simplify things for them so that they're not thinking too much and they can just play. But again, there's a lot of just still working on getting guys up to par with fundamentals and techniques. I think Bruce Dukes is getting better, and it shows. And we're looking at the other side of the ball. I mean, the other side of the ball. When I mean from one corner to the other corner, guys just have to continue to work and to get better and then keep going as the season goes. If we haven't gotten any better by the end of the season, then there's an issue. But I think you're going to see progress as we go. Don't judge it off this weekend.
Coach, you have some guys on the team that played at Alabama, played at West Virginia last year. What could they take from those games last year, especially West Virginia, where you guys were still in the game, really close into the third quarter?
We talked about this morning in our team meeting that you just focus on us. We don't focus on the other team. We don't focus on what University of Washington can do. We focus on everything that we can control. That wasn't a call. That was just a message. But we just worry about us. We go into a game, and it doesn't matter who we play. We just focus on the things that we can control. We can't control the crowd, the weather, their speed, their size, their ability. We can control us and how we perform, and that's all you can worry about. That's all you can think of.
What was how has practice been, being that you had to play an option team and worry about cut blocks and kind of get in a different mindset for the last game, as opposed to getting back to normal where you have to just get back to what the games you like to do?
That's it's harder to go the other way. It's harder to go and get prepared for the option than it is. I mean, it's and don't take that the wrong way. It's not easy to preparing for the University of Washington with all their speed and their ability, that quarterback they have. Their backs. They've got some guys on the perimeter. They have 6'7" offensive linemen that are well over 300 pounds. I mean, they're a big, good-looking football team that's easily a top 20 program that is going to win a lot of football games. I know they've got a big game behind us in Stanford, their first Pac-12 game of the year. It's a big game for them, and I'm sure that they'll want to make a statement early in our game and get ready for Stanford. So. We've got to go out and prepare the best we can, and they put their pants on the one leg at a time just like we do. And we just focus on us and everything we can control and go play the best that we can, and let's go.
Can you talk about the two guys on defense who I think between them they have 13.5 sacks already in the first 3 games? Just what is it that makes them so effective?
Well, they're very good football players. They have high motors. They've got good speed and size. They're very aggressive and physical, and they've got a really good scheme. They'll come get you. They'll come after you, and they'll blitz you, and they can line up and just rush 3 or 4 and get after you. So, I mean, this is a very talented football team we're going to face. Obviously, the most talented. No disrespect to any team we've played yet, but this is obviously the most talented team we've played so far, and we're going to have our hands full.
Have you faced Peterson in any role at Washington or anywhere before?
I think so. I think Chris was coaching at Boise when I was at Washington. We beat him. But, again, that was Washington playing Boise. I mean, Boise was excellent. Chris is a great coach, does a great job. He's going to be successful wherever he is. And I know it had to be a great situation for him to leave Boise, Idaho to go to Seattle, because I know he was very comfortable with his family, and I think one of his children, being very comfortable there. And I know that he'll do a great job, and it's a great place to be. University of Washington's a great place and great support. Scott Werder's a great guy, and they'll do a great job for him and give him everything he needs. And he's a heck of a coach, and I'm sure he'll have a great career there. We have the same representatives as far as contracts and financial planning, those kind of things.
Did you get his deal at Washington?
No. Nor should I. Nor should I.
Coach, what do you see on film from their quarterback Miles, not just throwing down the field, helping his team with explosive plays, but also what he can do with his legs?
He can run. I mean, that's what he can do. He can run. He's a really good athlete. He can throw the ball and he can run. And smart player and tough kid, tough young man. So, I've got nothing but great things to say about their whole. When you look at their film all across the board, they're well coached, they're fast, they're athletic, they're big. Really good program.
Can you provide any injury updates on Joel and some of the
Joel
guys?
is doubtful for this game with a shoulder sprain. Nothing serious, but just he's doubtful at this moment. Shandon Sullivan is questionable. Trying to think of head concussion symptoms. We don't know if he'll have enough time to get back. Trying to think of anybody else that's.
Ladarian, what is he still?
Yes, Ladarian's still out. He'll be out for some time.
Okay.
Maybe the season.
I think you said a
Neck.
Okay. Possibly the season.
Possibly.
And Kite Dallas, is he? I assume not returning
No.
ever.
That decision has not been made, but I don't foresee it this season right now.
What are you looking for, Coach, from your defensive line, trying to get some pressure and trying to get some wins on third downs in this game?
Well, I'm looking for a much better game up front. I'm looking for guys to just pin their ears back and play. I mean, and not get caught up in the I guess the emotion of the game and relying upon their fundamentals and techniques to carry out their assignments. And that's what I'm looking for. We have to play better all around, everywhere. We have to play better offensively, defensively, special teams, and coaching.
Is there one position group like defensive line that you'll try to simplify the things for, or is that more secondary, or is it the entire defense?
Well, it's the entire defense because everything's tied in together.
Right. I didn't know. Well, never mind.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There you have to play certain fronts with certain coverages, and
Right.
you have to, so. We're going to have to stop the run, stop the pass, stop everything. Yeah. Or should I say slow them down?
Can you talk about what you expect to get with Joel being a big target, maybe not available for this game, what you're expecting from the wide receiving core? And
I'm expecting Keith Rucker to step right in and Bill Technip to step in, and we keep going. We're not going to change. We're going to do what we do. We're not going to invent a new offense or change things. Keith Rucker's played a lot of football for us. He's playing well, and he'll step in and go. And Bill Technip will be behind him and go. And we have moved Clay Chastain to tight end. He's been doing that for quite a while now. And we'll have him get him prepared in an emergency situation. So we're not going to change and, do a lot of different things. We're going to do what we do, and, next guy in, next man picks up the flag and goes. I have 100% confidence in Keith Rucker and Bill Technip. I like our team. And we've got a good football team. We're a young football team that's getting better every week, and we're making progress, and our program is headed in the right direction, and our kids are responding to what we want. Are we where we want to be? No. We've still got a long way to go and a lot of things to get better at, but they're working at it, and that's all I can ask as a coach.
Are there any other nuggets that you bestow upon your team, since a lot of these guys are traveling across country, playing a top 20 program and playing on the road?
No, we do everything we can to make it as routine as possible. But how's it routine when you got to fly 5.5 hours or whatever it is to the farthest spot in the continental United States away from us? So, we'll get them there a day early. We'll go there on Thursday instead of Friday, and we'll still do our Thursday practice here. Go to the airport, load up, get out there, get in a hotel, then get up and do our Friday routine and do the things we do on a Friday and get up on Saturday and go play the game. So, you don't make a big deal out of it. You just go play. I mean, it's football. Those are things that we can't control. Again, it's just focus on the things that you can control, and that's how you play, how you prepare, and how you play on Saturday. And that's what we have to do. We've got to get the translation from preparing through the week to we've got to get it to go on Saturday in all phases. We're a team in spurts. If you look at when we've performed together, offensively, defensively, and special teams, we've been really good. But then something happens and one side will perform well and the other side won't, and the team will get back in it or get ahead of us, and then the other side of the ball get going and the other one will go down. And when we've performed together, we're really pretty good football team, and that's part of us getting these young guys being consistent and doing it consistently. And to me, that's a youth thing. You're a lot better when you're fourth, fifth, sixth year of marriage than you are that first year, aren't you? A lot better that third, fourth year than you are that first year. So, these kids are going to continue to get better, and it's going to be one fun thing to watch over the course of this season and into the near future.